Hi, Joshua. How are you?
Good in yourself?
I'm good, thank you. So today, what I want to do is, we're going to talk about what's going on, one of your concerns or something you're having trouble with, and see how I can help you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before we start this interview or this talking session, is just I'm going to need you to sign an informed consent.
Mm-hmm.
So this informed consent is just basically talking about your confidentiality. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
What is it?
It's like when you keep something private,
Mm-hmm.
or you can't tell no one except the person you're studying about.
Okay, so basically, right now the confidentiality, you're right, that was good. The confidentiality between us is that whatever you say, I will not repeat to anyone, not even to your mom or dad. Just that, just know that this interview, this is a class that I'm taking, and it will be reviewed with my classmates and reviewed with my professor.
Mm-hmm.
Now, another thing that I need you to know as well, it's super important, is that if you are indicating dangerousness to others, which is like, let's just say committing suicide
Mm-hmm.
or hurting someone else, I'm going to have to let my professor know or let someone else know where they can provide you with further assistance, which refer you to someone or something, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so then also I'm going to need, a consent from you is if you're okay with me writing notes.
Yes.
Is that correct? Are you okay with me recording this interview?
Yes.
Okay, so just know that if you ever feel uncomfortable in any situation, any question that I ask you, just know that you are allowed to say, I don't feel comfortable, I don't want to answer.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're feeling uncomfortable with me recording or writing things down, you can say, stop, I don't want to do this anymore, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so if you can just sign here, please. Thank you. So, just know that, this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about something that's going on with you. And, let's just say it's not going with you, it might not be necessarily on with you, or it can be with someone else, problems that are worrying you, that are concerning you.
Mm-hmm.
So throughout this interview, we're gonna find ways to help you overcome a certain situation, how we can help make things better for you, how you can, basically anything that can make things better for you.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say in the environment that you're in, let's just say school or anything or whatsoever. Okay?
Okay.
So first thing first, how's everything?
Good.
Good?
School's good.
School is good. So basically, let's go with school. How is school? Like how are your classes?
I'm good except for some classes I'm getting C's, D's, some of them.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about the classes you're getting C's and D's from?
So I'm getting C's in math class.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I changed my grade for ELA, but the last time I knew I got a D on her class.
You got a D in her ELA. So when you say ELA, what is that?
It's reading class.
Reading class? Okay, it's a reading class. Okay, so in your C, let's go with C's in math.
Okay.
What are some things that you're having difficulty with?
Well, I'm having difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
Is that this thing called probabilities?
Probabilities, okay.
And that's the thing I get confused with is how do you the reading the math problems the when it has the words what is it called?
Like problem solving?
Problem solving, but it's reading things and you have to write down the numbers.
I'm not so sure. I really wasn't good with maths. I wish I could help you with that, but I guess my main concern is, have you talked to your teacher about?
Well, the thing is, I don't like about my teacher is that she gives us a separate sheet of paper,
mm-hmm.
and she grades us for different points, and I feel like we're acting like little childs, that she's making us different papers, and for me they're easier questions, but I want to get a little more difficult questions.
So you feel like she's not treating you the way she should,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to be a little more challenged.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
That is correct. Okay. Have you tried telling her this?
No.
No.
Oh, what's it called? She's always like busy with other kids.
She's always busy with other kids. Mm-hmm. How does... I mean, she's not obviously not giving you enough attention.
Well, she does. She always comes around and check my work, and she's comes through my math book and X's out the things I'm not supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's called word problems.
Mm-hmm.
And she X's out that and writing problems. What do you do? What do you do while you're positive and negative?
Okay.
And then she just X it out, and I know what's the answer for it.
Okay. So, I mean, I think something that you should do is basically, like, talk to her about these things, you know, what your concerns are. So I think that's super important that you should do. I mean, you know, what do you think you should do?
Well, the thing I should do is if she puts the X in the marks, I'm gonna try to do the answer when the teacher is correcting them, and I see if I got it right, then I could show her that I did it right. Then, and she probably not X out the most of the problems are in there, and I could probably do the whole thing.
That's something you can do, and I like that idea that you're not only like maybe she's not helping you challenge yourself, but you're going to challenge yourself, which is taking initiative, and I think that's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's talk about reading class now. Why do you have a D? Why did you have a D in that class?
Well, is that the quizzes that I failed?
Mm-hmm.
Then it's the thing is problem is comprehending or writing class.
Mm-hmm. Or comprehending and writing class. Do you receive help in that class?
Yes, and I get help in that class, and it's this website called Read Theory. I don't get it that I'm getting there on hundreds, 85, 75 is there, but in my quizzes I get around like 50s, 70s.
Okay, now you're receiving 50s in your... Okay, so can you repeat this again for me? So basically, you're doing good in the class?
I'm doing good in class. The projects that I had for homework was about this story called The Monkey's Paw.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is about what was the title of the author, and write a 2-sentence summary as connections. Give me 3 questions, and what was the thing you were wondering about, or what do you think? Why did it happen?
Okay. So you say you do good in school.
Yes.
And then you say you get bad grades in your quizzes?
Yeah, I don't know why, but we have this website called Read Theory.
Mm-hmm.
Then I get like passing grades.
You get passing grades. Okay. So does it make you kind of make you nervous?
Wondering.
Huh?
I'm wondering that I'm passing the grades in Read Theory, or why am I getting almost failing the quizzes I get?
Okay. So now my questions for you is, how many hours a day do you take time to study? Do you, when you go home, do you actually study? Do you take the time to study?
No, the only thing I do is study at school.
Okay. You only study in school. Now, tell me, do you see how... So I guess what I'm trying to say is, you're not taking the right time to study at home. You're only studying in school.
But this called advisory. We have like an hour and 30 minutes, and our teacher gives us 50 minutes to work on the missing assignments and everything, and the last 10 minutes we play this game.
Okay, so you see here that, so in class you have a couple of minutes to study. To do your homework and stuff, and then the last couple of minutes is to do a game that, where it's fun, right?
That is communicative to the class.
Okay, so, but at home, I'm guessing you say you only study in school, so you don't take the time to study at home. Is that correct?
Yes.
and then I want you to see that if you're not taking the time to study in school, I mean at home, and you're failing your quizzes.
Mm-hmm.
How about we make a goal?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what do you think you can do to get better grades in quizzing? Like let's see what we can do to make better grades in quizzes.
To get better grades is to study at home.
Okay, and what are some things you can do to study?
Is that the notes I have in my notebook, or the notes she gives us before our test, study that, or for going read theory and level up my grade level that I have in my book, and read more here to upgrade my comprehension or my reading level.
Your comprehension and reading level. See, now these are methods that you can take to do better. Now, do you do any of these when you're at home?
The reading theory.
Just your reading theory, that's all you do?
Yes.
So I say take a week. Take a week to just do these things, doing flashcards, take the time to read to help your comprehension, and see how maybe you can see the progress that you can take from doing these things. At the same time, so then you want to do these goals, right?
Yes.
So now, going back, because now just, to put things together and just to know a little bit more about you. When you're taking quizzes, do you have difficulties?
Yes.
What are some things that you have difficulty? Do you have difficulty concentrating? Do you have difficulty understanding? What's your difficulty?
My difficulty is that when I'm doing the quizzes, is that, so let's say this, that when I'm doing them, like I'm doing them, sometimes I figure automatically like what I'm doing, or is when I'm writing it down, I get the answer, and when I'm writing it down, I just forget about it. Like I wear off.
So you have trouble concentrating.
Yeah.
Okay. Since you have trouble concentrating, that's something that we also have to work with. Ways on how to there's certain things you can do to help concentrate. And I'm glad you're saying this now. Now, what do you feel when you can't concentrate?
I feel is that like when I forget automatically, I start getting. It's not anxiety that I'm getting nervous, and she keeps saying like, "Oh, 3 minutes to finish the quiz," and I'm like, I'm barely on question 10, and there's like 15 questions. I need 5 more, and I don't know what the rest of the answers.
Okay, so you feel like it gives you a little bit of anxiety, you say?
Yes.
Okay, and I mean, something that I'm noticing here is that you play a lot with your hands. So when do you get nervous? Do you just feeling anxious? Do you just feel like you need to touch things, or?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you considered on having maybe just playing with an eraser or something?
No, I just keep my hands, or I just start moving. Let's say that I start moving my leg during the quizzes.
Okay, and honestly, I feel like you should possibly talk to your teacher. Let her know how doing certain quizzes make you feel. What do you say?
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, is there anything else that worries you?
I can't think of anything.
You can't think of anything? So, I mean, do you usually, most of the time you feel anxiety and you're feeling worried about things, right?
When I'm doing things that when it's getting to the end of the day at school, at the during social studies class, I just wear off what I'm thinking, what I'm gonna do after school, what are we eating, because I'm really tired and I'm hungry.
Okay. So, I mean, I think what we should do is that we came up with the goal for your school, right?
Yes.
What you're going to do is that after school and come home, you're going to take the time to do some studying for your quizzes.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to take time for reading, which is really important, and I'm glad that you brought that up because, it's reading helps you a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to help with your comprehension. So these are some things that that you came up with that you feel like you should do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I recommend that you continue that positivity to keep doing better. For your anxiety, and not for anxiety, you didn't say you had a lot of anxiety, so I can't say anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
But for your worry before a test, what do you think we can do before doing a test?
Before doing a test?
Do you think that maybe taking some deep breaths and just letting go and thinking positive that you can do good can possibly help you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think you can I think we should let your teacher know that these things are happening before a test. So maybe talk to your teacher and maybe see if she can help you with some methods because she knows the amount of homework you get. She knows that how you do in class, so maybe she can help you with some certain things.
And the one thing is that I don't like to sit almost in the very front. I like to sit in the very back.
You like to sit in the very back?
Yes.
Do you feel like you concentrate more in the front or in the back?
I like sitting more in the back because let's say that I feel like it's easier for me in the back.
Okay, so how about we discuss these things with your teacher to see how she can help you accommodate certain things, like sitting in the back, will that maybe help you focus more?
Yeah,
or maybe sitting in the front is not helping. So these are things that we should discuss with your teacher. Okay?
Okay.
So to my understanding, so from this interview, we talked about how you're currently struggling in school.
Yes.
Yeah? Yes. And then how your grades were in class. Yes. And then we came up with the solution of goals and how to do things better in school and your tests. So then you came up with, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You came up with finding ways to do better, which is studying, reading. And then after we suggested that, we should talk to the teacher about things that you're having problem with before taking a test because that's important, because this is probably another reason why you're not doing good in your test. You're not a good test taker, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So hopefully, we review this after a week, and we'll see if you progress by doing any of the goals.
Okay.
Okay? But the positivity, I believe that you should continue believing because, you're doing very good on this, helping yourself by assigning yourself certain things, which is great. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, thank you so much for helping me, make this interview. It was good, not only I learned a lot about you, but it's certain things, I should do.
Okay.
Is there any questions for me that you have for me today?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.